Hey YouTube friends, Ben Ochart here. Time to get these hoses cleaned. This is part of canister maintenance that often gets neglected or forgotten about, but they can build up a lot of gunk and detritus inside the intake, inside this little grill here, as well as along the insides of the hose. If you've ever turned off a canister and then turned it on again and noticed just a flurry of junk that comes out of the canister, it's probably from the hoses themselves. So let's get these hoses nice and clean and install them back on. And if you disassemble them, I advise that you mark them. Just use a magic marker, and like I've done here, so you can make sure that if you have a lot of hoses, so you can get everything back in the right place. You don't want to put you don't want to put your input where your output goes, right? So get onto eBay or Amazon or something like that, and get yourself one of these. This is a long pipe cleaner, and that I found that's flexible, and you can run it down the length of these tubes, these hoses, and they do a real good job. Usually I'll take the whole hose assembly off, but let's try something here. Let's run a little water in here, and let's see if we can get this thing through here to clean without even having to disassemble, which would be certainly a lot easier than having to take it apart. And the beauty of these flexible hoses, they're sturdy enough to push all the way through, and they do a great job. Take a look at what comes out of this. Just absolute brown gunk. And this isn't that long. I usually go a few months between cleaning, and let's see if this will bend. Yeah, see, it bends all the way. So it goes all the way through the tube, cleans it. And this will do a fine job getting all the gunk out. Remember, anything that's sitting in your canister, in your hoses, anywhere is rotting. And in that rotting process, it's going to create ammonia and all kinds of good stuff. And you can take a look here, what comes out of here. I don't know if you can really tell, but let's see if you can tell here just the gunk. Okay, ready? That's gross. Absolutely gross. But it's not that bad, I mean, let's face it, it's a dark environment. It's a dark environment, and it's got, humidity, water flowing through it. It's like the perfect environment for junk to grow. So, like everything else, just stay on top of it and clean them out. And every few months, I'll do an inspection. Yeah, just check under the tank with a flashlight, and you can see inside the hose. You can see the buildup here. This is certainly not the worst I've ever seen, but it was starting to build up enough where it was really time to take them off and give them a cleaning. You can see them here once I've taken them off. In the sunlight, you can actually see how much has actually built up. And of course, that's putrefying. It's just rotting stuff in there that's releasing ammonia and other gunk into the tank that doesn't really help the environment. Inspecting your fluval hoses, of course, is a waste of time since they're black, but just have those on a calendar so you clean them every few months. If you notice a buildup, go ahead and clean them out, because it'll just contribute to polluting. It'll just contribute to polluting your tank. And anyway, take a look at this. some comes out there. Yeah, gross. Okay, so I think you get the picture. So this is just my first set. I've got about 4 more sets to go, and every few months do an inspection, take a look, and you know, get yourself a little dish scrubby like this. This is good for the especially for the outputs, you know, like cleaning the outside of the input outputs, like on this one here, from something like this, you know, get it nice and cleaned up. And so on the outside, on the inside, you're gonna need this guy. So anyway, there you have it. Keep your hoses clean, and as just part of your overall maintenance, and your fish will just do better. And that's what it's all about, right? Okay, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. One tip I'll give you is be sure to work on one set. If you have several canisters, you're working on all of them at once. Work on one set at a time, and then put it back on that canister. Otherwise, what can happen is you can get confused, and when you go to reassemble, you know, some tubes have been cut a certain length. One is an intake, one's an output. So just to keep it simple, real simple, I suggest you work on one canister set of hoses at a time. Get that one nice and clean and install it back, and then get on to the next set, one set at a time, and you'll save yourself some confusion and some mix-ups. And you see this? That's the way a hose should look, nice and clean and pristine. And you know what? Like everybody else, I've let them go sometimes a little bit too long, and when I've turned that canister on, it's like a snowstorm in the tank, and it takes several minutes to clear up. So avoid that. Stay on top of these hoses, inspect them, and with the FX6, the black hoses that you can't look in, just count on cleaning those maybe once every 3 months or so, and at least, maybe even more often, if you're more industrious and have more time. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope this helps with the maintenance of your canister hoses. They are probably one of the dreaded aspects because you've got to get in the tank, you got to pull stuff out, you got to unhook and rehook, and so because of that, I think it does get neglected sometimes, and I too have been you know, guilty of that. So let's all get better. Let's all get better at our hobby. Thank you so much.